any legislation that is done by a legislative body. We have, in the hierarchy of laws, subsidiary legislations. We also have the case laws, and we also have distinguished legal opinions, like the one I am now addressing to. This distinguished legal opinion finds itself, or it was domiciled, or found its footings in the Transitional Authority Act. And as such, Mr. Chairman, it is a source of law to the Republic of Kenya. It still has a binding effect as and when we are interrogating the constitution of the human resource management in the county governments. To that effect, Mr. Chair, I would wish to seek leave to be allowed to rely on the same as source of law during the proceedings. Why did I make this application, Mr. Chair? So that I may dispel any doubt or any imagination that this is just a mere document. That is the ground upon which I have made this application. Honorable members, I would however still have brought it out, even without having to make this application. But for purposes of doubting Thomases, I was obliged to make the same. Much obliged.
Mr. Nyamodi.
Good afternoon again, Chairman. I am taken really by surprise by the submission by my learned colleague, who starts his submission by stating that what he seeks to rely on was prepared under a statutory authority that no longer exists. He then goes on to state that notwithstanding, it then remains a source of law. And he then makes the application that he seeks to rely on it then as a source of law. If it is a source of law, which I submit it is not, then he requires no leave to rely on it. We are enjoined, us as advocates, you as the committee are enjoined by the Constitution to follow the Constitution and the law.
May I just have brief rejoinder?
I'm not finished.
Okay.
Yeah, proceed.
I wanted to make sure that I had the chair's attention.
Yes.
I want to make then an important point.
Okay. Proceed.
If he acknowledges that the law upon which that document, or the authority that prepared that document no longer exists, the act was repealed, then there is no statutory authority for that document to then be relied on as a source of law or as an interpretation of the law. Second, and perhaps more importantly, Chair, the County Assembly's case closed very late yesterday evening. There is no room in today's proceedings for the Assembly to introduce either any new evidence or any new law. There is an opportunity for parties at the conclusion of this afternoon's testimony to make submissions. And if he intends to rely on law, if he believes it is law, then it is in those closing arguments or submissions that it belongs. And if he brings it up again, I will repeat my objection. It is not law. He acknowledges it isn't, and he has no ability to rely on it. And at this point in time, he doesn't have any room in these proceedings. Thank you.
Chair, in brief rejoinder to what my learned friend has submitted on, the document reads that the Transitional Authority is established under the Transition to Devolution, Cap 12, pursuant to Section 15 of the 6th Schedule to the Constitution. This document that I'm referring to, Chair, is premised on the Constitution. Section 15 of the transitional clauses to the Constitution. That means that this document is still alive. There is no any other manual that has been generated by any other organ or institution that can guide the question of the constitution of the human resource. As such, Chair, this is not bad law. It's good law simply because it is the manual that is in operation currently, and it is premised on Section 15. Unless Section 15 of the new constitution, the transitional clauses, has been repealed or has ceased to have the force of law, then council can submit and have some backing. But as long as the opinion I'm seeking to rely on is premised on that section, Chair, this is good law.
Thank you. Council, I wish to direct as follows on the application made by Council Ndegwa. Council, you should remain alive to the fact that the case for Kirinyaga County Assembly was closed yesterday. But again, you still have an opportunity through cross-examination to refer to any document that you want. You may want to refer to the Constitution. You may want to refer to rulings made by the High Court or the Supreme Court, or whatever source of law that you may want to refer to. That does not stop you to refer to any document. However, the committee, while retreating to make its report, will consider the matter as to whether this advisory made by the Transition Authority is a valid source of law or not. So you only have a window during the cross-examination to refer to whatever you want to refer, including newspapers and whatever documents that will be available for you. So relax, I'll give you time to flex your muscles around and refer to any document that you may wish. Thank you.
I'm well guided and humbled by the directions.
Thank you for that guidance, Chairman.
Now, we have 1 hour to hear the two witnesses. So the 1 hour starts running now.
Thank you, Chairman. I would like to call the next witness for the governor, Mr. Joe Muriuki.
Is he around?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
Chairman, as we wait for this witness, his statement is on pages 79 to 84 of the governor's response. No, it's not Keba. No, wait. It's okay. Okay, come. Okay, sir. Keba. Just ask Keba to come in. Come in. Sorry, Chairman. This witness's statement is from page 85 to 87.
Joe Muriuki.
No, not Joe Muriuki. Joe Muriuki will testify next. This is Kefa Kariuki.
Okay. Okay, Kefa, you will have an option of taking an oath or affirmation. You'll take an oath, okay? Proceed.
I, Kefa Mugambi Kariuki, do solemnly swear that the evidence that I shall give before this special committee in respect of the matters before the committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
So you'll sit directly opposite the chair. Okay. No, Kefa Kariuki. Page 85.
Please introduce yourself to the committee.
Put on your mic.
Chair, my name is Kefa Mugambi Kariuki. I am a member of the County Assembly of Kirinyaga, duly nominated to represent the youths in the great county of Kirinyaga.
You're a nominated MCA. When you speak, address the chair. Look at the chair. Don't look at me.
Yes.
Yeah, and if the hanging mask is making you uncomfortable, you may remove it because it's looking like some earring.
Thank you.
Thank you. Kefa, for how long have you been a member of the Kirinyaga County Assembly?
Chair, I have been a member of Kirinyaga County Assembly immediately after the 2017 general elections. We were sworn in office in September, so I've been serving as a member of the Kirinyaga County Assembly since then.
To which political party do you belong, if you belong to a party at all?
Chair, I do belong to the Jubilee Party, whose party leader is Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta.
Now, Kefa, I want to ask you whether you have had an opportunity to have a look at the motion that was filed in the assembly where you are a member for the impeachment of the governor of your county.
Chair, the motion was tabled. We were all served with the notice of motion.
Just one step at a time. Have you seen the motion?
Yes.
Okay. Now, have you written a statement in opposition to that motion?
Yes.
Now, would you like to produce that statement as your evidence in chief or as part of your evidence in chief before this committee?
Affirmative.
Chairman, I restate again that that is the statement that runs from pages 85 to 87. Okay, now back to the motion, Kefa. What would you like to tell this committee about the manner in which the motion was prosecuted before the Kirinyaga County Assembly?
Chair, being a member of the County Assembly of Kirinyaga, I am always present in whatever happenings that happen in the County Assembly of Kirinyaga. When this motion was brought, Chair, I vividly remember very well that we raised some issues. I personally raised my reservations towards the mode at which the motion was being brought. Chair, I remember that day before the motion was brought, I was seated, enjoying my lunch at the County Assembly cafeteria together with other honorable members, and all of a sudden a discussion arose that someone is to bring something to sign. This something to sign, I wasn't fully aware what was to be signed. So immediately, the documents to be signed arrived with one of the members. I was sought to go ahead and sign. I said that I cannot append my signature to something that I cannot append my signature to something that I am not aware what I am attesting to. So I said I won't sign. Then the other members were coerced to proceed at the back of the County Assembly to go ahead and start signing the motion.
Who coerced them to go to the back of the assembly and begin to sign the motion?
The person who brought the papers to be signed started whipping the members at the back of the County Assembly to go ahead and sign the papers which he had come with.
Do you know who that was? Do you recall the person who was whipping the other members?
Personally, the person who asked me to go and sign was MCA from Tebere Ward.
He was a member of the assembly?
Yeah, he's a member of the County Assembly of Kirinyaga.
So by whipping you and your other colleagues to go to the back and sign the motion, he was carrying out his duty as an MCA?
I don't know, since I don't think so, since the roles of the members of the County Assembly and him not being a chief whip, he's not allowed to whip members of the County Assembly.
Okay. Do you recall the date when this happened?
I may not be able to recall the exact date when when the nini was brought about the signing document was brought, but it was before the notice was issued. The notice of the impeachment motion was issued.
It was before the notice of impeachment motion was issued?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall when the notice of impeachment motion was issued?
Yes, I do recall when the notice of impeachment motion was issued.
When was it issued?
The exact date, I might need to look at my calendar to remember the exact date when the notice of motion was issued.
Okay. And when the notice of motion was issued, as a member of the Kirinyaga County Assembly, do you recall how it was processed or how it was prosecuted through the Assembly?
Normally, in the County Assembly, when there is an issue of discussion before the House, depending with the weighty matter of the substance of discussion, the motion is first brought to the relevant committee, and the committee then takes that mandate to ensure that the matter is prosecuted, including via public participation. When this motion of impeachment motion was issued, the matter of public participation was one of my highest reservations that I raised, since it was not duly effectively subjected to the correct mechanism for public participation.
When you say the correct mechanism for public participation for an important motion such as this, what do you mean?
I mean that as a practice and customs of the County Assembly of Kirinyaga, there are ways which we do prosecute issues which come before the House. First, the clerk of the County Assembly, the clerk of the County Assembly will issue a notice in the dailies requiring the members of the public to issue written memorandum and still gazette and still highlight the date, time, and venue in all the 20 wards when the matter will go for public hearings. The issue before the impeachment, my issue was, this is a very weighty issue, and it was not subjected to public hearings, given that this was an issue that needed the governor, who was duly elected by the members of the public, to be removed from office. So that the issue of the members of the public not having been included, because the clerk during the public hearing, the date set for the public hearing, the clerk will assigns each MCA a clerk who will record minutes for the presentation made by the members of the public, and those minutes will form part of the substance report that will be tabled in the County Assembly. So in the normal practice and the normal customs of the County Assembly, the members of public, whether they do understand the national language or whether they do not, some will submit in writing, and those who cannot be able to submit in writing because of one issue or another, the issue is subjected to public hearings, and all those documentations are encompassed to the substantive motion before the House.
Thank you. So, Kefa, it is your evidence that the Kirinyaga County Assembly did not subject this motion for the impeachment of your governor to public participation?
Through the chair, yes.
Okay. Now, Kefa, I want to, do you recall when the motion for impeachment was dealt with by the Assembly?
Yes, I do recall.
What was the date?
It was on a Monday. I remember it was on a Monday. I'm not so good in the actual dates, but I remember it was on a Tuesday when the motion was prosecuted before the House. Sorry, not Monday.
All right. Now I want you to tell the committee whether there is anything about or anything out of the ordinary, out of anything unusual about the happenings in the assembly the day before or even the night before this motion was considered?
Through the chair, it was a very funny day in Kirinyaga County, since on that Monday, the members who are in support for the motion slept in the assembly chambers. I was not among the members who were supporting the motion, so I still don't know how the members actually slept, given that there were ladies who were supporting the motion and there were still men who were still supporting the motion. And that actually raised a lot of eyebrows, because according to our African culture, something that is being done during the night, it doesn't merge well with our usual customs. We are used to be people of broad daylight. We deal with things when we can see each other, as long as those substantive issues are of common benefit to what the discourse is all about. I remember on the material day, when the impeachment motion was duly laid in the floor of the county assembly, some of the members who are not for the motion had raised on. I actually was the first person to raise on a point of order, since there was an existing court order which had issued some conservatory orders with regards to how the motion was to be prosecuted, given that we are in the COVID-19 period. What happened is it didn't merge well with me, given that the governor was not being given a fair hearing, now that she was party to the motion. She was the person who was being prosecuted. She had not been given a chance to a fair hearing. The matter was just prosecuted on Monday, that we can go ahead and debate the motion, and then even the other parties were not informed that, and despite the existing court order, we are going to proceed with the motion the next day. So in that aspect, I raised on a point of order, saying that we could have, it was our duty as a county assembly to give notice to the governor that we have overruled the court order and we will be prosecuting the motion instantly, that is tomorrow. So as I was raising on those point of orders, if I may continue, Chair, other members who are not in support of the motion rose still on point of orders. Now that after looking at the back page where the signing of the impeachment motion was, their names were still part of the members who are supporting the impeachment motion, despite them not supporting the impeachment motion. So these members actually raised in point of orders, but there was usual disruptions in the House, and the speaker could not exactly give the point of orders. So at the end of the day, in protest, given that these members were being subjected to having their signatures, yet they never support the impeachment motion, the frustrations by the individual members brought what we saw on TV, members protesting since they duly have their rights, and they cannot be subjected to something they are not party to.
Okay, so what happened on the night before the impeachment motion was dealt with was not a usual occurrence. That is not something that happens ordinarily in the Kirinyaga County Assembly.
Ordinarily, I have never experienced such an issue. It was out of ordinary. Members choosing to spend the night at the chambers.
Okay, I want us to move on to the last part of the testimony. Thank you very much. I want us to move on to the last part of the testimony, of your testimony in chief this afternoon. And I want to show you a part of the governor's response. The governor has filed a response to the motion against her. Yeah, he's holding up here. I want to show you a part of the governor's response, and I am showing the witness, chairman, the file marked travel documents, and I am showing him tab 14L. The file is marked travel documents. 14, it is tab 14L.
The USA trip?
Yes, the USA trip. Okay. Now, Chairman, in that tab, there are documents, and at the end of the documents, there is a series of photographs. And I want to ask this witness a few questions about those photographs.
We don't have the photographs. But you may furnish the chair with a copy of it.
Now, I want you to look at those photographs, and those photographs are introduced or provided by the governor as part of her response to the allegation that she did not make certain trips. But that's not what I want you to speak to. What I would like you to do, Kefa, is to look at the photographs and identify, tell the committee who you see and you recognize in those photographs.
Through the chair, I can recognize my governor, Kirinyaga County, Governor Mombi Waiguru. I can also fully recognize my majority leader, Kirinyaga County Assembly, Honorable James Morango. And I can tell that they are very happy and smiling.
All right. How many photos are there? That is the first photo. The next photograph?
Yeah, can we be told where these photographs are? Some of us are not having the photographs.
Let the secretariat.
They are under the
Facility.
tab that is marked Italy trip or 14L.
Italy or USA?
Italy.
Yeah, Italy. Members, are we there?
Yes, Chair, we have seen them.
If Honorable Gidiomi is there, then everybody is there, right? So you may proceed.
Yeah.
And in the second photograph?
In the second, through the chair, in the second photograph, I can still see the governor, and also I can see the majority leader, James Morango. They are well dressed in some white coats.
And the next photograph?
In the next chair, the next photograph, I can still recognize the James Morango, and I can recognize Her Excellency Governor Mombi Waiguru.
And how many other photographs are there with your colleague and your governor?
Repeat.
How many other photographs are there? Please just identify all the photographs that you can see. How many are there and who do you recognize?
I have, Chair, I can recognize 3 more photos, and I can still recognize James Murango, the majority leader, and Governor Ann Mombi Waiguru, Governor Kirinyaga County.
All right. Is James Murango known to you?
Yes, he is a member of the County Assembly of Kirinyaga and the majority leader, Kirinyaga County Assembly.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Chair, nothing else for the witness.
Thank you. I'll invite Mr. Ndegwa to do cross-examination.
How are you, Mheshimiwa?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm well.
Okay.
I don't know whether I gathered correctly your educational background. Did I?
Okay. I can furnish you with the information. Okay.
Yes, please do.
I'm Kefa. I hold a certificate from the College of Insurance. I am a CPA, and currently I'm in the University of Nairobi School of Law.
Well, we shall be welcoming you soon. Now, Kefas, do you know how many members voted for the motion that day?
I think I can just consult my
Let me just remind you, there were 23, yes?
Yeah, they are 23, correct.
Did you vote yourself?
No, I didn't.
Were you at the assembly?
Yes, I was.
Were you supporting the motion?
No, I was not supporting the motion.
What did you do? You abstained?
I did not abstain.
Yes.
What I did...
Okay, I'm satisfied with the answer. Let's move on. How many members abstained?
4.
Were those who abstained supporting the governor or the motion or against the motion?
I cannot be able to talk on behalf of other members.
Yes. It is your testimony that a document was brought to you for signature, yes?
Uh-huh.
Did you have a look at that document?
No, I didn't.
Do you know the content?
No, I don't.
Was it a motion? Was it a bill? What was it?
I said it was a paper which was supposed to be signed.
It was a paper.
Yeah.
You never had a look at it. You never had a look at it, yes?
I was required to sign, so I had to sign on a paper.
Do you have that paper with you?
Of course, I was not the person who was bringing the paper to the county assembly, and I never signed. So
Other than you complaining that you never signed,
yes.
Is there any other member who is complaining that he signed and the signature was fraudulently obtained?
Yeah, the members who are protesting that day during the impeachment.
Their signatures were fraudulently obtained, yes?
That's what they were protesting.
Have they recorded any statement with any police office?
I was not among the members
who
who
was
was
complaining. Have they recorded any complaint?
I was not among the members who was complaining that my signature was
You came here
among
to
them.
testify on that perspective, correct?
I came here to testify that during the impeachment motion, members raised on a point of order saying that their signatures were on the impeachment motion and they did not append their signatures to that motion.
Do you have that member who complained before the committee?
The members who complained, they were vividly, they were the members.
I'm asking whether they are
pronounced.
before the committee, not whether they were in the TV.
I'm not sure whether
Okay, thank you. Move on. You are conversant with the provisions of the County Government Act, yes?
Not all.
You are conversant with Section 91 of the County Government Act, yes?
Please read it to me.
You are conversant?
Please read it to me.
I will give it to you to read. Yes, proceed.
Section 91,
Yes.
Establishment of modalities and platforms for citizen participation.
Which is the first platform?
Information communication technology.
I bet.
Town hall meetings.
Wait, a moment, I'm leading you.
Yes.
There is an established statutory requirement that public participation can be done through the establishment of a web, correct?
That is just
I'm
one.
asking you,
that is
a moment, please.
Yes.
That is one of a statutory requirement, correct?
Correct.
Does the County Assembly of Kirinyaga have a website?
Yes.
How often do you visit the website? How often?
Not oftenly.
Not oftenly. Next issue.
Town hall meetings.
Town hall meetings. What is that?
Town hall meetings is organizing public meetings.
Public meetings, yes?
Yes.
And within the COVID-19 circumstances, that could not be done, yes?
That could not be done.
But it's not the only way public participation can be done, yes?
It's one of the key ways,
It's
depending.
not the only way. I'm asking you, it's not the only way public participation can be done, yes?
It's one of the main way when
It's
the
one of the
matter
main
and
way.
the nature of
Okay.
the content of the
hear you,
of the motion
Kefas.
before the House.
Kefas, I hear you.
Yes.
It is one of the main way.
Yes.
You have the act there with you. Read for me the word main.
You need to understand what
No,
I'm saying.
I know the law. You'll not teach me the law.
Yes.
Read for us that town halls is one of the main way.
Shall facilitate the establishment of structures for citizen participation, including
Yes.
town hall meetings.
Yes. Including social platforms, correct?
Including town hall meetings.
Yes. Move on.
Budget preparation validation fora, notice boards,
Yes.
announcing jobs.
Do you have a notice board at the assembly?
Yes.
Do you have notice board within the Kirogea town and within Kirinyaga County?
I'm a resident of Moya, so I'm not sure whether in Kirugoya we have.
Okay.
Yes.
I move on. You have satisfied that point. Kefas. As a member of the County Assembly of Kirinyaga County,
Yes.
are you privy to the correspondences that are exchanged in between the office of the clerk and any other office?
It is the duty of the clerks to furnish us with all the documents that pertains the members.
Yes.
Yes.
But not all the documents, yes?
Of course, not all the documents.
Good. Then can you authoritatively speak to the matter whether the speaker issued any correspondence to the governor or not?
I'm not privy to.
You're
what
not privy
saying.
to the circumstances.
Yes.
Marvelous. Now, you have imputed an improper motive on the part of the honorable members of Kirinyaga County, yes?
No.
By even saying that they slept women and men, yes?
No.
Are you trying to paint them in bad light?
No.
Were you there that night?
No. You need to understand that I said.
Listen, I'm asking you questions, not
Yes.
you asking.
Uh-huh.
Was there a minor within the precinct?
I
Was
didn't
there a
sleep.
minor within the precinct of the county assembly
I
on the
didn't
late night?
sleep in the county assembly during the night, so I
So they
cannot
were
tell who
adults,
slept.
yes?
Yes.
Good.
What?
Court order. You mentioned that there was a court order, yes?
Yes.
Were you privy to the content of the court order?
Yes.
Which court issued that order and in which case?
Come
Which
again?
court and in which case was the order issued from?
It was Justice Coril.
Yes. Do you know the number of the case? I remind you,
Yes,
it is
please.
123 of 2020, which I argued, yes?
I think I need to confirm that with the correct petition.
I then put it to you that it was 123. Do you
Yes.
know the content of that order?
Furnish me.
Do you know the content or you don't know the content? You are the one who was going to raise the issue, a point of order on the existence of an order.
There
yes?
were conservatory orders which were.
Do you know the content? Are you privy to the content?
I'm privy to the orders which were issued.
And you are privy to the fact that there was a provision on the order that the motion shall stay pending the hearing of the petition or until COVID-19 was to be maintained, yes?
Mm-hmm.
You're aware of that limp?
Yes, sir, that's part of the.
Are you
that's part
aware
of the
that the
wordings.
governor later went to court when the motion was passed or when the motion was being discussed to get further conservatory orders? Yes? You're aware or you're not aware?
On that note, I'm not.
Are you aware that Justice Correo dealt with that issue and said that that order was not violated in that particular order?
No, I'm not aware.
You are not aware?
Yes.
Kefas, during the subsistence of this meeting, did you file
Is it
any case?
Kefas or Kefa?
Kefa. Kefa for records. Kefa. Did you, during the subsistence of the motion, attempt to stop the county assembly from deliberating over the same?
During what?
The subsistence of the motion, or during the incubation of the motion. Do you recall you and a nominated MCA called Maureen attempting to stop the process?
Not stopping.
Do you recall
I do recall raising on a point of order.
No, not at the assembly, at the court. Did you file petition number 119 of 2020?
Oh, the petition I filed was not to stop the motion. I filed the petition seeking that my rights of an enabling environment, given that the COVID-19 issue was
Yes.
here with us,
Yes.
and yet and by then the county assembly had not provided.
What was ruled in that petition?
Was
it dismissed or upheld?
It was dismissed.
It was dismissed.
Yes.
I take you to the photos, yes? The ones that you've just shown us. Who took the photos? And when were they taken?
These photos have been shown to me.
Yes.
They are part.
Who took the photos and when were they taken?
I don't know.
You do not know.
Yes.
Can you testify upon those photos?
I was asked to
Can
identify the people in the photo.
Did the person or did council tell you who took the photos?
No.
Did he tell you where they were taken from?
No.
Was it in Italy, India, Kenya, or America? From the photos.
From the photos, I can tell that this is not in Kenya. Yes. Yes,
Good,
I can
good,
tell
good,
that.
good.
This is not in Kenya. Boy.
That is interesting
Yes.
because you'll take me on a geographical tour of Kenya. Beginning now. Yes? What makes you discredit that photo from having been taken in Kenya? Give us a geographical tour.
Yes. Okay.
I want you to look at the one that is in the file, not the one that you're now looking at.
This is
Okay,
this
go
is
on.
in the file.
Yeah, ours is not colored, that is colored. Okay. What makes you think the photo was not taken in Kenya?
What makes me think
Yes.
the photo was not taken in Kenya? Number one, apart from the governor and the majority leader, I can see white men. White men, and I can also see.
I hope you're not a racist.
No, I'm not.
Let's just proceed. Okay, first.
Yes.
Is it all trips that are is it all trips that the governor traveled are in scrutiny in this case? Is it all trips that are under scrutiny in this case?
I'm not privy.
You're not privy.
Yes.
Mr. Ndegwa, your time is up. However,
Yes.
Honorable Kefa is a student of law, and he will soon be joining you in the law practice. So I will add you 5 more minutes so that you may have acquaintance with each other. Is that okay?
Chair.
Okay,
We are
5 more
humbled for
minutes.
your guidance.
Yes.
Kefas. Yes?
Yes.
You're not able to tell where that photo was taken from, correct? You're not able to tell where the photo was taken from, yes?
Yes.
You're also not able to tell whether we are scrutinizing all the travels that the governor took or undertook.
Yes, correct.
You are aware that we're scrutinizing that she actually gained beneficial, personal benefits from some of the trips, yes?
I am not.
Did the council show you a receipt dated 17th of April 2020?
No.
He never shown you. Good. Now, Kefas,
Yes.
what more do you have that can help your case?
I don't have a case.
No further questions.
Thank you. I will hand over to lead counsel to do re-examination.
Thank you very much, Chair.
You
Just
have
a few issues.
5 minutes only.
Just a few issues in re-examination. Kefa, you said you have had a look at the petition or the motion. Have you seen any evidence of public participation of any kind?
No.
When when public participation is carried out by the assembly, would there be any use or any utility in notices being put on the notice boards within the county assembly?
Come again?
Public participation is being carried out by the assembly. Would it be effective or would it be of any use if notices of public participation were to be put up within the assembly?
Not really.
All right. Thank you. My colleague, Mr. Karani, will ask you a few questions.
Kefa, just a few questions.
Yes.
The first question I wanted to ask is, you read Section 91 of the County Governments Act.
Yes.
It talks about use of internet platforms. I want to ask, is the use of internet in the county, is that a use that can, based on the usage of internet in the county, can that be an effective tool of communication in Kirinyaga?
It cannot be an effective tool in Kirinyaga
Yeah,
County.
the question is speculative. We object.
He's a resident.
That objection is sustained.
No problem. I will rephrase the question. Based on the people you represent,
Yes.
let us focus on your ward,
The youth.
the youths, the population that you represent. What tool of public participation would be effective with them, based on even the 2
Speculative
years?
objection.
From the 2 years that you have been a member of the county assembly and holding that portfolio, what forum have you relied on for effective communication with the youth?
We have always relied on public meetings where where they can orally present their views, and we can record their views and then take them to the assembly for consideration.
From the issue of the motion to impeach the governor,
Yes.
were those forums utilized?
Those forums were never utilized.
Thank you. Now, the other question I wanted to ask, Article 50 of the Constitution imposes a duty for there to be an impartial body when determining anything that may affect the rights of a person.
Yes.
Was the county assembly impartial based on what happened during these proceedings?
I am privy to the rules of natural justice that you cannot be a judge in your own case. The rules were never followed.
Thank you very much.
Before you finalize, in the normal process of public participation for the county assembly, is it the practice that there is a report on the public participation proceedings?
Yes.
Was there a report on the public participation proceedings for this motion?
No.
The photos that have been shown to you, you've been asked whether you can identify those photos and where they were taken. Have you ever seen those photos anywhere before this day?
At some point, I saw these photos being circulated on WhatsApp groups.
Yes. Who was circulating the photographs?
Chair, that is opening another new line of will not have. That never came in my cross-examination. We object.
So you have seen the photos before?
Yes.
All right. And Kefa, on the final issue on the right of the governor to appear, to your knowledge, was any report made in the House about the governor having been called to appear before the House for the purpose of this motion?
To my knowledge, no, I can't remember.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I will now open up to honorable members to raise any concerns pertaining the presentation. But just before that, I would like to acknowledge the presence of a representative of the African Parliamentarian Network Against Corruption. Honorable Senator Rose Nyamunga is here with us as an observer. She will not contribute, but we just acknowledge her presence. Karibu sana, Senator. We'll start with Honorable Judith Pareno.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, Kefa, I just have two issues. This issue of public participation is a very pertinent issue when it comes to issues that touch the citizens of this country. It is in the Constitution that we must have public participation. And yesterday, a witness told us that they did indirect, I think it was David, Honorable David, MCA said that they did indirect public participation. Are you aware of any, as an MCA who is sitting in that assembly, are you aware of any public participation that, not necessarily town halls, but what was direct? Are you aware of any public participation as an MCA?
Chair, Honorable Senator, I am only aware that the clerk issued a notice in the dailies requiring members to submit their written memorandum. But the written memorandum, I have not seen them being on the floor of the House.
So you have seen nothing like memorandums submitted to that
Yes,
effect?
yes.
Okay, then you, in your evidence this afternoon, you said that the governor was not given fair hearing.
Yes.
Can you elaborate to us what you meant or what you understand by not being given fair hearing? What happened that you ended up concluding that the governor was not given fair hearing?
Chair, Honorable Senator, the governor there was a motion to impeach the governor, and there were grounds which had been attached on the motion. The normal procedure would have been to invite the governor or to invite an independent body to investigate the issues before discussing and voting for the impeachment motion.
So are you saying that the governor was not invited, or what are you saying about that?
What I'm saying is the allegations that were being alleged, they were never substantiated before the floor of the House.
Are you aware whether the governor was ever given these allegations?
No.
Okay, then finally, you raised a very important issue about proceedings of the assembly, that there are those who are opposed, but found their names listed as among those that were supporting the motion. Are you able to name any of them? Are you able to give evidence to that effect?
I was present during the impeachment, the day when the impeachment motion was being discussed in the House, and the members who are raising point of orders in protest of having their names being part of the impeachment motion signing. I can tell that one member from honorable member from Karumande Ward, honorable member nominated to represent gender, Honorable Lucy Njiiru, honorable member for Kabare Ward was also protesting towards having his signatures appearing in the motion. And also Honorable Beatrice Mitaru and Honorable Frederick Vudi.
So how many would you say were shouting in the assembly, wanting to express their opposition, that their names were listed?
Chair, Honorable Senator, I will not say they were shouting. They were. I think they were racing on point of orders, yes, but they were not being accorded that chance. They were around 4 members.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Maybe just on the issue of members trying to remove their signatures from the motion, your standing orders, do they allow members to remove signatures? Once you append your signature, can you remove your signature from the motion?
Yes.
You're sure they allow?
I think it's, yes, I'm sure they allow.
Okay. Shall be requiring you to, or we shall be referring to the standing orders to make that determination, whether they allow the standing orders.
The copy of the standing orders
before that, Chair, with your permission.
Yes.
With your permission, the issue, this came during the COVID-19 times, when when these members didn't, you remember the explanation I gave about the signing issue and how it happened. The members told me in protest, as they were presenting their issues, that they have been looking and they have been trying to follow the standing orders to have their signatures removed from the impeachment motion, to no avail.
So you'll furnish the chair with a copy of your standing order so that we ascertain that as we proceed. Honorable Gidiomi, Council, you may furnish me with the standing orders.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I have perused the photographs which are in this document, and there's nothing to suggest that the photographs were taken either in Italy or Britain. That is one. The other one is the stamping of the passport. The stamps which were done in Kenya here are clear, but and another one in Dubai is also partly clear, but the other one is not clear. So we need to actually know where this stamp was done.
Earlier on, I had made a ruling requesting clear copies of the passport, and I believe, Council, you are still on your way coming.
I will be with you shortly.
Thank you. Yes. Any other issue? Yes. Honorable Vice Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Kefa. Kefa, are you one of the people that voted against the motion?
No, I didn't vote.
But you did not vote for it either.
Yes.
You abstained, or you were not? What was the constraint?
After I was on point of orders, I just felt not being in place to continue sitting in the assembly, so I excused myself.
So you abstained, more or less. Is that what we should take it as?
Yes.
As abstention?
Yes.
I think we have the Hansard report from the County Assembly, which the committee, I'm sure, will make a reference to with regards to some of the things that you've told us. But how many did you say that were people that had their names put on the names appeared as having voted for the motion against Honorable Waiguru?
I said I'm not sure, since I excused myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think then we'll just refer to the Hansard. I think we have the Hansard report in
Yes.
there? Okay, great. No further questions. Thank you.
Honorable Michael Mbito, then we come back to Honorable Gidiomi.
A quick one, Kefa. Tell me, you mentioned that there were MCAs who wanted the signatures expunged from the list.
Yes.
Is there a reason why they didn't send statements? Is there a
Senator.
reason why they have not made it public, or rather even sent a statement to this committee with the same? You're saying that
Yes.
there's some MCAs who signed the impeachment motion and wanted their signatures expunged.
Yes.
Why haven't they put statements?
They were raising on point of orders during that material day.
After that, have they done any statement to that effect?
I don't know.
Is that all? Senator Gidiomi?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I can see there are about 8 trips which were made. I can see one for USA, France, Naivasha, USA, China, Germany, United Kingdom, USA, UK, Italy. Travel. Now, the only trip that we've been guided on is the one on Italy and UK. What happened to the other 7 trips?
Is that a question to him?
Yeah, to Kefa.
No,
He's
that's
the
not.
witness before us.
I don't know.
I don't think, Honorable Gidiomi, The question is well directed.
Okay, let
Though
me put
you
it,
can direct that question through the
let me
chair and
save
place it where
Kefa.
it belongs.
Let me save Kefa, but ask this question. What happened to the other 6 trips? Did the governor travel to the other countries or not? Because the only indicator we have is that she went to UK and Italy, which we have also not proved because of the staff.
Chair, if the senator, with your permission, wants a response from us as counsel for the governor, that can be responded to immediately, including the issue of the passport that he raised.
I would hold that question for now because we are having a witness here.
Yes.
We are raising issues concerning his testimony before this committee. So kindly restrict yourself to the borders of his testimony.
Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Gidiomi, stand guided.
Yeah, I start guided.
Thank you.
But I will still
Yes.
demand an answer.
I'll give you an opportunity later to ask directly the question to the council. Thank you. Honorable Payai.
Thank you, Chair. First of all, I must congratulate Kefa for being nominated to represent youth. Kefa, the party of Jubilee nominated you to represent youth, correct?
Yes.
Can you say in your own statement, are the youth well represented in Kirinyaga County?
Yes.
Thank you.
That is a question is a question, huh? The relevance of the question is subjective again. So as the chair, I will admit that question, that Honorable Kefa is representing the youth of Kirinyaga ably.
Yes, Chair.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Honorable Kajwang.
Chair, thank you. I'll probably pick it up from where my brother Senator Pai has left it. I know it was a very loaded question. But first of all, Kefa, congratulations.
Thank you.
Article 1 of the Constitution, sovereignty of the people. All sovereign power belongs to the people of Kenya. And I believe that must be the background where you're saying that the people should have been consulted.
Correct.
I've looked at your witness statement. It does not address the allegations and charges against the governor, even though I agree with what counsel said earlier in the morning, that there's nothing that stops us from checking how the motions carried through the assembly. So I would assume that what we are doing is relevant. How many motions have you sponsored in the assembly so far?
Around 2.
Any bills?
Yes.
Any bills?
No.
You are there in your capacity as the representative of the youth of Kirinyaga.
Yes.
In those motions you sponsored,
yes,
how did you get the views of the youth? How did you engage the youth that you represent?
I organized public meetings.
Were they specifically for the youth or for the entire population?
What happens on the ground is you will invite the youths, and at the end of the day, you will end up having the members of public coming for the meeting.
I have seen in the Hansard, you put up a very spirited fight, and I must say you are a strong man, because I've seen, despite shouts of sitting down, points of order, you are present in the assembly.
Thank you.
When you are making those comments, did you go to consult the youth so that you can say them on their behalf?
Yes. Okay. I am representing the youths. I am a youth through the chair, and number one, there are those instances as a normal human being, you will react towards an issue before you.
Which is captured in Article 1(2) of the Constitution, that sovereign power may be exercised directly or through democratically elected representatives. When you speak on behalf of the youth, it is in pursuit of that article, isn't it?
Correct.
So the sovereign power can be exercised directly or can be delegated.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you. I will allow retired Judge Stuart Mazayo.
I have no questions for this witness.
Good. Any other concern? Honorable Kefa? you have 1 minute to sum up your testimony and remind the youth of Kirinyaga that you represent them ably.
Thank you, Chair. I must say I'm happy to be in this house, and I must thank you for according me the chance to be in front of these honorable members and present my views. My assurance to the youths of Kirinyaga is that I will always ensure that they are accorded a fair hearing and that what is duly supposed to be theirs will always be theirs. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, and may God bless you. So we shall now allow the last witness from the defense side to come. Again, honorable members, ladies and gentlemen, in the spirit of power sharing and recognizing the position of women in leadership, I wish to allow my able vice chair to come and take over from me as I retreat as a member of this committee. Honorable Abshiro, you'll now take up the role of the chair.
Thank you, Chair.
Also want to direct the sergeant at arms to ensure that our respective seats are sanitized so that we can facilitate the exchange. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think we'll let Chair get comfortable while we continue. We have quorum. He'll join us. Honorable members, we shall continue. Can we allow in the next, who is the next witness? Is it Joe Muriuki?
Yes, Madam Chair. The
Yes.
next and the last witness is Joe Muriuki. His statement is on page 79 to 84 of the response that has been filed on behalf of the governor.
Thank you, Council. Honorable members, please be advised accordingly. The witness statement is on page 79 of the governor's response to the charges. Welcome, Mr. Muriuki. You may take an oath or affirmation. Which one would you?
Okay.
Please go ahead.
I, Joe Muriuki, do solemnly swear that the evidence that I shall give before this special committee in respect of the matters before the committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Welcome, Bwana Muriuki. We have your witness statement, and we're going to allow the same rules that apply. We'll have 15 minutes of examination in chief, 10 minutes of cross-examination, and 5 minutes of re-examination. That's only if necessary. If not, council may waive and cede that as well. So you're welcome. You may proceed.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Please introduce yourself to the committee.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Joe Muriuki, County Secretary, Kirinyaga County.
You're the County Secretary, Kirinyaga County.
Yes, through Chair.
All right. Please tell the committee what your responsibilities are as County Secretary.
Chair, my responsibilities are clearly spelled out in Section 44 of the County Government Act, which includes, besides handling cabinet-related matters, that I'm also the head of the County Public Service.
Now, are you aware that a motion for the impeachment of the governor of the county where you're the county secretary has been filed before the Senate?
Yes, I'm aware.
Have you had an opportunity to read that motion?
Yes, I have.
Now, I just want you to confirm whether you have written a statement in response to that motion.
Yes, I have.
And would you like to produce that statement, Bwana Muriuki, as your testimony or as part of your testimony in chief before this committee?
Yes, I do.
Right. Madam Chair, again for the record, that is the statement that runs from pages 79 to 84 of the governor's response.
Noted.
Yeah. Mr. Muriuki, I would like you to begin by telling the committee about perhaps the area I want you to shed light on at the beginning is the health.
Mr. Muriuki, you may remove your mask. I'm told that your voice is not very clear. Yeah, thank you.
The area that I want you to begin to shed light on is the health sector in Kirinyaga.
Is there any specific area?
Yes, there is a specific area where I want us to start. And I want to ask you whether you recall whether there was a strike at any time in respect, oh, sorry, not in respect, by health workers in Kirinyaga.
Yes, Chair, there was a strike, and that was as a result of the notice that they gave on the 20th of May 2019.
The notice was given on the 20th of May.
Yes.
When did the strike commence?
My understanding is before the end of that month.
And do you know why the strike took place?
Yes, Chair, there were a number of things that they raised, ranging from promotions and training. Those were among others.
Promotions and training.
Yes.
Those were the only issues that were the subject of the strike.
Those ones that I recall were the primary ones that they had cited.
And how was the strike resolved?
Let me mention this, that prior to the strike, they sent us a letter where they wanted to have an engagement with the executive. But before the period that they had given us had expired, they issued that notice. So consequently, the executive had no option than to go to the court to seek some legal redress. So the executive went to court.
So is it your testimony, Mr. Muriuki, that the issue of the strike was resolved through court or through litigation?
Yes, yes, Chair.
Do you recall what resolution the court gave in respect of that dispute?
Yes, Chair, there are two, may I use the word adjectives that were used? One is that it was unprotected, and two, it was illegal.
The court found that the strike was unprotected and illegal.
Yes, Chair.
And how did the county government of Kirinyaga respond thereafter?
The county tried to see whether it could engage or persuade the striking workers to resume work, even as their grievances were being addressed. And despite that, those efforts, and even warning, telling them the consequences of engaging in unprotected and illegal strike, they still ignored and went on strike, and never even honored, even when a moratorium was extended to them. Even after the court ruling, some still did not respect or take that one seriously.
And what was the county government's response to the continued strike by these health workers in Kirinyaga?
Faced with the responsibility of any government, and more so the county government, to protect the interests of the residents of Kirinyaga, it had to undertake some measures to prevent the collapse of the health services in the county. So consequently, eventually, through the Public Service Board, it did advertise for those positions for the workers that it did not resume work within the stipulated period.
There is a gap in your testimony. You are advertising for positions and your employees are still employed by the county government. I'll ask the question again. What was the county government's response to the employees' continued remainder on strike?
They were fired through County Public Service Board.
How many of them were fired?
My correction is there were 549.
549 were fired.
Yes.
Oh. Good. Go on. You were saying that they were hired, or the county government then hired new staff.
Yes. It hired 359 through County Public Service Board because 185 already took advantage of the moratorium.
Okay. So it fired, let's just get those figures correct again. How many were fired?
549.
How many took advantage of the moratorium?
185.
Okay, so that we get the correct perspective, before the strike, how many employees did the Kirinyaga county government employ in its health sector?
1,265.
So you had an establishment of 1,265 health workers?
Yes, through Chair.
All right. And as a result of the strike, how many were terminated?
549 through Chair.
And how many did not go on strike?
716 through Chair.
And how many took advantage of the moratorium?
185.
So after the strike, and after those who returned to work and those who took advantage of the moratorium, how many staff did the county government of Kirinyaga now have in its health establishment?
A staff medical health complement of 1,260.
1,260.
Yes, through Chair.
All right. Not very much difference from what you had initially.
No, through Chair.
Now, there was testimony that was led yesterday by none other than the chairperson of the County Public Service Board in Kirinyaga about the hiring of some 77 health workers who he said were hired by the County Public Service Board and were not either being paid or in the payroll. Do you recall that testimony?
Yes, through Chair.
All right. What do you have to say about that?
Through Chair, I would say that it looks to me that when the County Public Service Board undertook to replace the workers that went on strike, that reconciliation was not done properly. So consequently, by the time they decided to hear unilaterally appeals with the involvement of even the executive, I think they did not recognize or take cognizance of the fact that they had already gotten a total staff complement that was only, which was almost more or less equal to the number before the strike. So consequently, the 77 were going to push the numbers post-strike level to about 1,332. Now, Chair, the challenge with this is this. They are twofold. One is that the Public Service Board decided to hear appeals on workers that it had dismissed when it was clear that that mandate rested with the Public Service Commission per Section 77 of the County Government Act 2012. And the second thing is that the numbers that they wanted to reinstate to the payroll was going to push the annual payroll by about 81 million, money that was not factored in the budget.
So just to get it clear, Bwana Muriuki, who employs or who hires staff for the county government in Kirinyaga?
Chair, Sections 59 and 63 gives that mandate to the County Public Service Board.
And I take it that he who hires is able to fire?
Yes, by the same provisions, especially Sections 59.
And who terminated the employees who went on strike and were terminated? Who terminated their employment?
County Public Service Board.
And who hired their replacements?
County Public Service Board.
Did you have, or did the county government have budgetary provision for the 77 or these 77 additional health workers?
Through Chair, no, and I confirmed that, the finance.
Now, there was testimony that was led yesterday that seemed to suggest or seemed to paint the state of health facilities in Kirinyaga as deplorable. As the county secretary, as the person administratively in charge of the county, what is your response to those or to that testimony? I'm sorry.
Through Chair, with due respect, any person can make any comment or any statement depending on whether you are addressing yourself to gallery. I've been in that county for even the previous administration, and I'm still there. And I can tell you for a fact that the health services in Kirinyaga, even before strike, were not deplorable as painted. That is incorrect.
In between or subsequent to the strike, has the county government of Kirinyaga made any improvements? Has it made any investments in its health facilities?
Yes, through Chair, a number of initiatives were done, including we have right now a functional, well-equipped eye unit. We also have renovated the outpatient unit. We have also completed, with the partnership with the national government, the CT scan unit, and the equipment have been installed, and they're just awaiting commissioning. I must also mention that We have also finished the laundry, the new laundry upgraded facility, and it's functional. I must also mention that we have built new kitchen facilities, which are almost complete. We have also procured an incinerator with the capacity to process the medical or the hospital waste for all the hospitals. Besides that, through Chair, the laundry facilities in the other hospitals, and they are the ones which needed repair have also been repaired. May I also mention that, also this through Chair, that there is an ongoing construction of new hospital complex, which will enable the elevation of Karigoya County Referral Hospital from level 4 to level 5. One may wonder what is the big deal, but there is a lot through Chair. By so upgrading, once this facility is complete, and the progress is quite good, because Her Excellency the Governor has been emphasizing on the teams to make sure that they're also carrying out various inspections on them. We'll have HDU, we'll have ICU, we have also specialized rooms and specialized services, and even the state-of-the-art facilities. Let me mention in terms of the human resources side. Since then, we realized that there were human resources which were underutilized. We redeployed some staff from various departments who were underutilized, and also trying to increase the productivity of even the support staff. We have also employed, where necessary, additional cashiers to supplement the efforts in terms of the services provision. May I also mention this? The county has also undertaken or is also expecting additional health workers through partnership or through internships, medical internship secondment from the national government. So all those will go a long way in supplementing the services which are being rendered there. Those are some of the things.
Thank you very much, Mr. Muriuki. Council, you have run over your time, and I'm not as lenient as my chair. So unless you ask, I'm not going to volunteer time.
I want to just take another few minutes. There is just two important areas that I want him to cover.
How much time do you need?
They will be brief, 5 minutes, and I will not use all of it.
Okay.
All right. Mr. Muriuki, there was a suggestion by one of the witnesses who testified yesterday that the county government of Kirinyaga had closed dispensaries. What do you have to say about that?
Through Chair, I'm not aware of the hospitals being closed down, and I must confirm also through Chair. This morning, I also even called the hospital in charge to find out whether that is true, and they stated categorically they don't know what the person was talking about.
Chair, we object that answer. It's based on hearsay.
Bwana Muriuki, do you have support? What are you basing that on other than the phone call? Is there something you can show this committee that actually that was not true?
Perhaps here, before the witness answers that question, the record of the committee will bear me witness. Other than the wild allegation from the witness in the hot seat here, there is no evidence in support of the motion to suggest that dispensaries are closed. And what kind of evidence do I have in mind? Perhaps a name, perhaps a location. Even better, perhaps a statement from a resident of an area where a dispensary has been closed. So the same standard must apply. The only
Council, you did not raise this yesterday.
The only allegation
at the time that the wild allegations were being made. So what? But he's raising it, so I'm going to ask it. But both of the teams are going to be asked to substantiate.
The position, Chair, is that there was none that was identified. We asked for an identification and there was none. So it is difficult to respond where there is none identified. He's the administrative head of the county, and he asked, and he says who he asked. That is not hearsay. He has said who he asked, and he has said the answer that was given to him. It would be hearsay if it was if he said that he had somebody tell somebody else. That's hearsay. That's an answer given to a question that he asked.
Chair, unless council wants to amend the Evidence Act by submissions, it's very clear. If he's relying on information that has been given to him by another party, unless that other party comes and corroborates what he's saying, it stands as hearsay, unless there is an amendment to the Act.
Corroboration is different from hearsay, and there is no corroboration required in this instance. The witness is stating what he was told.
Council, I'll allow him to finish, and the committee will make a determination from both sides in terms of substantiation, both those that said it was closed and those that are saying it's not.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Please continue, Bwana Muriuki.
Through Chair, it's unfortunate that as I'm asked this question, there is nothing that has been tabled before me so that I can be responding to the specific facilities that are purported to have been closed. Let me also mention this through Chair. I am a resident of Kirinyaga County. I also play, in terms of my capacity, I have the ability to know some of those critical decisions being undertaken. I'm not aware of any decision by the executive or by any organ of the county having made that kind of decision.
Thank you very much, Mr. Muriuki. Madam Chair, that is all for this witness.
Okay, Council Ndegwa, would you like to cross-examine?
Yes, Chair, with your permission.
Please go ahead.
I'll begin with a few issues that were raised yesterday. One of them is in respect to the employment of one person, Pauline. Do you know her?
Yes, I do.
Do you know her previous engagement?
Yes, I do.
What was she?
She was a PA to
who?
the governor.
To the governor?
Yes.
Good. Do you know what is her current engagement?
She's director of administration.
Do you know her qualifications?
I would have to check.
Do you know the qualifications of a director?
I'm not aware of.
Do you know the qualification that a director must get?
Council, I would like you to let him finish the sentences, please.
Well, much guided.
And through Chair, may I request for protection that you don't try to intimidate me, because what you want is to get answers from me, but shouting and intimidating will not give you the correct answers.
Mr. Muriuki, I have directed him to let you finish.
So do you know the qualification one must have for it to be a director as head of civil service?
Let me mention this. I would like to refer you to the county government. It has specified various laws for certain organs. The Public Service Board is instituted because it is the one that is recruiting. It is also the ones that
so you are saying you do not know, as the head of civil service, you do not know?
Let him finish the sentence, sir.
What I can tell you, unless you have a specific answer you are looking for, is that I know about the advertisement that was praised for the director of administration, and it is said either a degree or a diploma.
Okay. Have you acquainted yourself with the provisions of the Transitional Authority Employment Manual?
First of all, through Chair.
Have you or have you not?
This is the first time I'm hearing about the TA manual because I've not seen it even being referenced in any of the pertinent acts.
Do you know the chair of the board was seated where you were seated yesterday?
Yes, I do, Chair.
Do you know he referred to a letter dated the 4th of January 2018 in respect of coercion to employ or to have Pauline employed?
That is a statement I have not seen any substantiation.
Okay, I'll show you. Have a look at that letter. To whom is it addressed to? And what is the content and the date of the letter?
Chair, before my learned friend continues, I have a question.
Before you get the question, allow him to look at for at least a few seconds, please, before you ask the questions.
Okay.
I'm sure you're through scanning it.
Yes, I am through, Chair.
Do you know the date of the letter?
for the January
So
2018.
what's your point of order,
The
Council?
point I wanted to ask, Madam Chair, is one. Cross-examination is supposed to focus on what a person has stated, either in their evidence in chief or the statement that he produced. He has not adduced evidence about the things he's been asked about. He was focusing on the issue of health.
Council Ndegwa, what would you say about that? Are you introducing new evidence and asking
I will
new
simply
questions?
submit, Chair, and I'll have a legal submission. Council has not cited any section. I remind him what the Evidence Act provides, and I refer him, probably may have a copy for him, that in cross-examination, Council can ask any question. I am not limited to the content that he has dealt with. Remember, this is the only witness, administrative witness the governor has called. The governor has refused to take the stand. Who else can I ask this question other than the administrator himself? In cross-examination, I can even ask him the name of his mother.
Please
As
proceed.
long as I show the relevance.
Proceed.
Have a look at the letter, Mr. Murioki.
Through Chair, I'm not sure what I'm required to do with this letter because
I'll show you.
I'm seeing it for the first time.
Don't worry.
And I can't authenticate anything of it.
I'll lead you. Have a look at it. Yes, what is the date of the letter?
For the January 2018.
What is the content of the letter?
The subject matter says coercion by Her Excellency the Governor to recruit and qualify Director of Administration.
Read out the content fully. Proceed.
The above subject matters refers. Once again, I wish to reiterate the Constitution of Kenya gives the County Assembly oversight role of the county government as cited in Article 185, Section 3, and also cognizance of the provision of Article 73, Subsection 2A, B, and C. I wish to state
yes,
that it has become extremely impossible to act as per the law since Her Excellency, the Governor, has become adamant that the above said Pauline Wairimo Kamau must be selected for this position, who is a diploma holder, evidenced only by a result of sleep.
Yes.
This further contravenes the directives issued by the Transition Authority that a person can only be recruited to the position of a director if he she or holds at least first degree from a recognized university.
I'm okay with that. Did you say that you do not know, you have worked with the county government for the last how many years?
For it almost 6 years.
6 years. And you have never come across the Transition Authority manual, yes?
I have not.
Marvelous. Another letter. Have a look at it.
Okay, it's also a letter through Chair to the County Assembly.
Dated when?
For the December 2017.
What are we seeking? What is the author seeking?
Request for intervention.
Yes, read it out.
I would wish to write it to you seeking your intervention to rein in on the governor to respect the law. We as the County Public Service Board are meeting challenges, especially on recruitment. At times we are recruiting some individuals who does not meet the minimum threshold due to forces beyond our control. Please intervene and help restore the board's independence.
When is the letter dated again?
For the December 2017.
I'll show you another letter. Have a look at it. What is the content, the date of the letter?
15th November 2017.
Whom is it addressed to?
When Geshera Gakuya.
Yes. What is his designation?
ICT advisor.
Is that a provision provided under the manual?
I have not seen that manual.
Yeah? Under whom does that person act to? That office is under the office of Nani, of who?
Her Excellency the Governor.
Does that person report to you?
No.
He reports to who?
Okay.
To the chief officer, yes?
Okay. Okay.
Whom does he report to?
Through the chief officer, but also...
No, I'm asking, in the office of the governor, who is in charge of the office of the governor of staffs?
I think my understanding is a bit different from the direction you want to direct me
Yes,
to.
I want you to tell me who is in charge of the personnel employed under the office of the governor.
You can say effectively the chief officer.
The chief officer. The chief officer or the chief of staff?
Staffs.
The chief of staff.
Correction, yes.
Currently, who is the chief of staff?
Madam Stella Bogonko.
Do you know her previous engagement or employment?
No.
Will it surprise you if I put it to you that she was previously employed in the youth board that was disbanded? Does it surprise you?
I'm not sure what is the relevance to this.
Does it surprise you?
Madam Chair,
I don't know.
Yes, what's your point,
again,
Council?
what is the relevance of that line of cross-examination?
Relevance is to show and indicate the criminal enterprise operationalized in the office of the governor by her staffs. That's the relevance.
Mr. Chair, this is
In
now
any case,
sensationalizing and it is not acceptable.
Council,
Yes.
they're out of order.
Chair.
If the youth board was disbanded, does that then mean it's criminal? Was it proven criminal by a court of
If I was
law?
given time, Chair, I would have actually led the witness to substantiate that particular point. Because in law,
Explain to the media. And
under
it's
the Evidence Act, facts otherwise not relevant becomes relevant. We call it the doctrine of res gestae.
Chairman.
You can draw an irrelevant fact and it becomes relevant in a trial.
Council, we don't have the time to start with irrelevant facts and come to relevance. Please, let's keep to the relevance
move on,
directly.
Chair. Now, how are decisions taken in the cabinet?
Sorry, Drucha, repeat your question.
How does the cabinet take decisions in Kirinyaga County?
Through
Again,
Chair.
what is the relevance of that? There is no issue about cabinet decision-making that arises here.
This is cross-examination again. Witness, how does the county executive operate in terms of its decisions?
Chairman, perhaps a direction on that before he proceeds?
Council.
Yes.
Where are you heading with that?
I'm heading to establish the question of abuse of office by the governor.
And within what frame?
It is in the motion.
You want him to start from where? Because it could start from when people are employed to when, you have to direct, please.
You said there was a directive to reinstate some officers, medical officers, yes?
I did not mention about the directive.
Yes, what did you say?
Those are
what
your words.
What did you say?
I don't recall saying anything like that.
How are they reinstated?
Probably that question is best addressed to the County Public Service Board.
The Public Service Board chairman said that the governor directed that they be reinstated. What do you say? Are you aware of those directives?
I'm not aware that. What I know is about the moratorium.
Yes.
And
who issued the moratorium? Who issued the moratorium?
It was Her Excellency the Governor.
Yes, Her Excellency the Governor.
Yes.
Was that an administrative moratorium?
What exactly do you mean by
was
that?
Was it administrative?
Are you asking whether it was binding or what?
I'm asking, that moratorium, was it an executive decision?
Council, help him by defining that a bit more so that he understands what.
Was that an executive decision? Or what was that a decision by an executive officer of the county government?
I can say that that was an executive decision.
It was an executive decision.
Yes.
Do you have the minutes for that decision?
If I have, I'm given.
Do you have or you don't have?
I didn't carry because they were not part of my submission.
They were not part of your submissions. Okay. Now, there was a cabinet, CEC for health, who sat there where you are seated today. And he said that there was a directive to then close the dispensaries in Kirinyaga County. Are you aware of those directives?
I'm not aware of such decisions, and I would have known.
Let me first of all deal with that issue of the moratorium. And I want to take you to Section 41 of the County Government Act, to which I ask you to read.
Council, your time is up, but I'll give you a few more minutes. How much more do you need? But not exceeding 5 minutes.
Just 10 to wind up with this witness.
I'm giving you 5.
I'll try within circumstances. If the witness is also going to expedite the process. Read.
So which section?
Section 41, highlighted in green.
Okay. The meetings of the County Executive Committee, the deliberations of all meetings of the County Executive Committee shall be recorded in writing.
So was that put in writing?
Yes, there is.
Do you have it?
I didn't come with it.
I'll now take you to your statement about where you appointed to the task force that was looking into the issues of the health status. Yes?
Yes.
You're aware of that?
Yes.
You're aware of that?
Yes.
And it was appointed on 12th of May, yes?
Yes, through chair.
By the High Excellency, yes?
Yes, through chair.
Do you have the minutes for that appointment and the decision by the committee, the executive?
I think.
Do you have, do you not have?
No. Chair, through chair. When
Do
you
you have,
when
do
you
you
ask a
not
question,
have?
you want me to answer. I'm not aware that that needed to be given. It is Her Excellency who gave me the appointment letter. So I don't know what minutes he is asking for.
I am asking for the minutes that appointed this task force.
The task force was appointed by Her Excellency the Governor, and there was even a press statement to that effect.
Yes?
The appointment was through Her Excellency the Governor. Through Chair, can I make this point?
I
Please allow
am
me to make
asking
this
whether
point.
you have the minutes of the executive.
Please allow me to make this point.
Council, first respond, and then I can allow you. If you just say yes or no, and then you can continue.
No,
Council, but allow him to finish, please.
there are no minutes that appointed the members of the task force.
You may qualify. If you
Was there a cabinet decision?
I'm not aware that there was supposed to be a cabinet decision on this matter, but what I know through chair is that the county executive had already directed what kind of actions to be taken in the case of the strike.
So that was a roadside declaration? That's what you are telling us?
No, they already, in a previous cabinet meeting, it had already taken a position on the way forward in terms of the strike.
Then you said there was a decision about the implementation of the tax. Was the task force report implemented?
Yes, through chair.
Who commissioned the implementation of the report?
That one was addressed to Her Excellency the Governor because she was the appointing executive.
So who executed the implementation?
I oversaw the implementation.
Was the CEC involved?
I know as a department they were involved.
And you are saying that you are the one who oversaw the implementation of the task force report?
Yes.
I lead you to section 44 of the County Government Act, subsection 3. Have a look at it, and you read it loudly.
The county secretary shall be
Yes.
responsible for arranging
Yes.
the business and keeping the minutes
Yes.
of the county executive committee subject to the directions of
Yes.
the executive committee.
Yes.
Convey the decisions of the county executive committee to the appropriate persons
Yes.
authorities.
Yes.
And perform any other functions as directed by the county executive committee.
Yes. So was there a directive directed to you to implement the task force report?
Are you implying that?
No, I'm asking the question,
But you
not
forgot,
implying.
Let me mention this. You have conveniently omitted subsection A, 3A, which says the county secretary is also the head of the county public service. So I have other mandates I can implement under that umbrella.
Yes, I know. But for this particular task force report, were you commissioned by the relevant executive officer of the county to implement it?
The relative executive officer, yes.
Do you have the minutes of that meeting that took the decision to allow you to implement the task force report?
I mentioned before that was a directive by Her Excellency the Governor.
Okay, there was no minutes.
It was not necessary to be done through minutes.
Okay, I take that. You have testified in length about the status of the health in Kirinyaga County, yes?
Yes, through chair.
And I also bet or gather that you have some medical background in terms of your qualification, correct?
Absolutely not.
Now, you have also said that there were incinerators that were procured, correct?
Yes, through chair.
Do you have the tender number that provided for the procurement?
I'm sure that question is better addressed by
No, I'm asking you. You are the one. You are the
there
owner
are
of
documents, but I
Listen,
don't have.
Listen, you are the owner of that piece of evidence. You are the owner, yes?
No. What evidence are you talking about?
I'm asking, do you have proof of purchase of the incinerator?
If you allow, I'm sure I can get the documents, but
you don't have now.
Please understand, I think through chair, I don't know how much the council knows about the structure of a county government, and especially the role of the county secretary. I am the head of the county public service of about 3,000 employees. So I don't get involved in virtually every decision but however,
I hear you.
Overall, in terms of the direction, yes,
I hear you, but my question is simple. Do you have evidence of purchase of the incinerator?
I don't have with
You
it,
don't
but there
have.
is evidence.
You don't have.
For record, Chair.
Council, your time is up.
Only
please.
one more question. Now, you testified to the effect that the reinstated individuals would have were way over and above the job, the people who are supposed to be working, yes?
Yes.
And that their reinstatement created a crisis, yes?
I didn't say about the crisis.
Yes.
You're the one who was saying.
Yes. Why, you are aware that there are allegations that there are 77 members who are not paid, health workers?
Yes, as a consequence of the
recruitment.
County Public Service Board not playing the correct role.
Yes. So there means there is no synergy between the office of the County Public Service Board and the office of the governor because of the directives the governor gave for the moratorium, yes?
Absolutely not true. Let me mention through chair.
No, I'm okay with the answer.
Yeah.
So are you trying to tell us that there is redundancy
Council,
of
the
employees?
one question has become three.
That's
So
the
I'm
last
going
one.
to
Sorry, can you repeat?
Is there then redundancy?
What do you mean by
redundancies? There are people who are not working. They are just there. They wake up in the morning in the job market, in the job for medicals.
I think it depends on whom you're asking about, because
about the 77.
You see, the 77, the position is this.
Yes.
I actually, even the County Public Service Board, I think it was on the 4th of January 2020, I actually funded the executive's decision for them to recall the letters that they had irregularly issued, but they have not done.
Do you have that statement?
Let me check whether it is part of the document.
Okay, and finally confirm that these 77 people are being paid.
Council, I'm going to order you to take your seat.
Much obliged.
Council for Governor, do you wish to re-examine? Please go for it.
Very, very shortly. Issues have been raised to you regarding the questions of employment of public servants. Let me understand, who advertises for positions for employment in the county?
Okay, it depends on the kind of position. For public officers.
Let's talk for public officers at director level. Who advertises?
Is the County Public Service Board.
Who determines the qualifications before advertising?
What happens is the requesting officer can stipulate through an itinerary. But however, it is the mandate of the Public Service Board to ensure that the advertisement meets the qualifications required.
You said this in your initial, you alluded to this in your initial statement. Before the interview for the positions of director administration, there was an advert for that position.
Yes, through chair.
And that advert indicated the qualifications as what?
Director of administration, and my recollection is that it stated a degree or diploma holder.
So by the time the interview happened, that advertisement had been done by the board indicating diploma holders.
Yes, and they are the ones who also recruited, interviewed, and even appointed the
And they're the
officer.
ones who issued the appointment letter. Now, on the question of the numbers, once again, what was the total number of health workers by the time, before the strike started?
1,265.
Without these 77, what was the total number of the ultimate number after re-engagement of new health staff?
About 1,260.
So if you had added the 77, you would have had a crisis in terms of your budget.
Yes, through chair.
What would have been the difference of that budget?
About 81 million per year.
Did the county have an allocation for that 81 million shillings?
No, through chair.
Do you have it now?
No, through chair.
Thank you.
Chair, we have no other exam for this witness, and that was our last witness. Just to put on record, Chair, our appreciation for the manner in which the committee has enabled us to lead evidence, and to put on record the fact that the governor's response is the document paginated together as the response, together with the 4 affidavits or the 3 witness statements, I'm sorry, they're not affidavits, that come after it, and all the documents that have been provided in the various volumes that we have supplied to the committee. I thank you.
Thank you, Council.
Yeah.
Thank you, Council. Council, one moment, please. I would like to give opportunity to the senators to also ask for clarification. Honourable members, as you know, it's a clarification we are seeking, not really examining or cross-examining or examining in chief. So we'll keep it concise and we'll keep it short, so that then we may be able to have all our closing and all other things, and the committee to retreat and determine a few things before we come back. So please, if you could just raise your hands, and we could start with Senator Pareno, then Senator Mpaye. Chair, you'll be third.
Thank you, Chair. And thank you, Morioki.
Thank you.
For your statement. Just 3 clarifications that I'm seeking from you. We were informed by Dr. Gashoki, Agnes Gashoki, who was former CEC, that that after the moratorium 77, the 77 health workers came back, you issued them with letters, and from July 2019 to date, they have not been paid, and that there is a case in court. I would like to hear more about that and what happened. Then the second thing is about the picture that was painted by Dr. Gore Godi, if I'm not wrong. She said that, and even Agnes said that she resigned after she was told to close all the dispensaries, and that over 30 dispensaries are closed to date. That's her statement. And then and she resigned because of that, as per her statement. And then Dr. Gore Godis indicated that there are so many dispensaries that are so dilapidated, that they are so badly off, that at one point you even find snakes and all rodents all over. The environment is not fit, and she really painted a bad picture of your health system. I would want to hear why should make such allegations if they were not true. If we visited, suppose this committee visited, what would we find of the dispensaries that were depicted in this manner?
Witness, you may answer.
Through Chair. Let me first mention about the 77, where the statement was made that they have not been paid. It is true they have not been paid for the reasons that I stated earlier. There is no budgetary provision for that. They also mentioned that she resigned because of that the dispensary is being closed. Honorable Senator, and through Chair, let me mention this. Given the position that I occupy, such a decision I would have known, because I was one of the key members who are trying to coordinate the crisis. And there is no such decision that was made by Her Excellency the Governor, and that is, and she is even not there to confirm that that is still happening. So it's not true. That's what I'm saying. It's not true. On the issue of Dr. Gall, the dilapidated condition of the dispensaries, I'm not surprised because I know she is an activist of some kind. And obviously they were very, very upset because of the fact that they lost the cases in the court when the strikes were declared illegal. And in fact, through Chair, they were even denied audience by the court. So consequently, I wouldn't be surprised as a human being, she has bitterness towards that effect. but that does not mean that's the truth, and you are welcome even to visit the county and confirm for yourself.
Senator Mpaye?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Bwana. What was your name? Muriuki, County Secretary.
Thank you.
In your statement, you said about Kerogoya Level 4, Level 5 is equipped with broad and various new units, correct? Yesterday, we had a witness that stated that most of the treatments, palliative and curative, are currently being handled by the neighboring counties, county hospitals of Nyeri and Embu. Do you have the evidence to back up the current statement on the current service operations and employment of more staffs? 2, the functional state of the said existing facilities.
Witness, you may answer.
Through Chair, let me mention that the allegation that a lot of our patients are going to our neighboring hospitals, actually, through Chair and with respect, is actually contrary to the situation that we have been experiencing in the ground, because actually we know a lot of patients from other counties are the ones who have been patronizing our facilities. In terms of the functionality of Kerugoya County Referral Hospital, and any person can actually even confirm this, it is fully functional, and in fact, we are, as I mentioned, we are offering even eye clinic services, and I can assure you it is fully functional.
Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I'm alive of the fact that we are supposed to restrict our questions within the borders of Mr. Muriuki's statement. However, given his position, Madam Chair, as a county secretary, I would wish you grant me permission to seek clarification on a matter that is not encapsulated in his statement. So I will be seeking your permission before I ask the question.
But is it relevant to the general charges that have been preferred against the governor?
Yes, it is.
Okay, if it is, I'll allow.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Joe Muriuki, there was an allegation brought forth by one of the witnesses yesterday that Kirinyaga County government has got no coffee shop in the United States of America. Can you attest to this committee? Do we have a coffee shop owned by the Kirinyaga County government in the United States of America? Do you know of such a shop?
Through Chair, of course, you caught me off guard, but to be quite honest, I wonder whether I'm competent enough to respond to this, but I'm not aware.
You've shown this committee that you're well versed with the information about development, the development agenda of the governor. You've stated about hospitals that have been done by the governor. You've stated about facilities that have been equipped, roads that have been done. So you want to tell this committee that you do not have any iota of information that there is a coffee shop in the United States owned by the Kirinyaga County government? Yes or no?
I'm not aware of any.
Thank you.
Senator Kajwang?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, County Secretary. You have the functions of your office, as you've told us, are stated in Section 44 of the County Governments Act and that of the Public Service Board in Section 59. Madam Chair, health is devolved and it's extremely important, and it is something that I wish even we had more time to, get evidence from the county on how robust its health systems are. CS, you have put in your documents supporting your statement a letter dated 4th of July 2019, which is a media statement signed by the governor. My understanding of your functions and those of the County Public Service Board is that you are head of the County Public Service. Is that correct?
Yes, through Chair.
And together with the County Public Service Board, you have some dual responsibility to manage, administer the county public service.
Yes, through Chair.
And I would not expect the governor to give directives or instructions to members of the public service on issues that are contractual in nature.
Yes, through Chair.
The letter dated 14th of July, that is in your pack, the media statement, I believe you're aware of it. County Directive on Back-to-Work Terms for Health Workers in Kirinyaga County.
Senator Kajwang, is that in the responses or in one of the files?
It's in the supporting documents that have been referred to by the witness in his statement.
What file number was that?
It is a file marked health.
Are you, can you give can somebody please give the witness so that he may be apprised of the...
He has referred to all these appendices in his statement.
Let's remind him.
It's a media statement dated 4th of July. Through the chair, Joe, we're on the same page?
Yes, thank you, through Chair.
You may proceed.
Okay, but the only thing I wanted to find out about this letter, in what capacity then was the governor issuing back-to-work instructions to health workers?
Through Chair, help me, let me please respond as follows. The governor, per Article 179 of the Constitution, is the CEO of the county. My understanding and simple interpretation is that as officers, we report to her in that capacity. And in fact, the county government goes ahead even to specify other functions that she may perform. So therefore, this statement to me, through Chair, it is in line with her duties as a governor. And in fact, the law also gives her the ability to do anything that helps to execute the functions of her office.
Thank you, Joe, because that is 179.4 that designates the governor as CEO and deputy governor as deputy CEO of the county, respectively, which I agree with. So it means that with leadership comes responsibility.
Yes, through Chair.
Meaning that sweeping power and role and duty of a governor as a chief executive officer would mean that if there were sectoral failings, then she would be expected to correct them as a chief executive officer. Because this was a sectoral failure falling within your domain as county secretary and county public service board and health. She stepped in as CEO in accordance with the Constitution. Is that right?
Yes, you are, through Chair.
Okay, that's fine. One thing I've seen a sign of leadership in this letter is a second last paragraph. Second last paragraph, where the governor says that going forward, she has requested the Senator of Kirinyaga County, Honorable Charles Kibiru, to convene sessions to address concerns in the health sector while bearing in mind the constraints faced by the county government, which I believe is a statement made by virtue of a position as chief executive officer. Would you let us know, as a committee, what was the outcome of that initiative? because you've adduced it as evidence to support your statement.
Through Chair, let me mention something probably that may help to understand the background in terms of this letter. My understanding and interpretation of the prevailing situation at the time of the strike was actually there was a lot of political aspect. And it was actually the strike was taking a political direction. So my only assumption, and I don't know, is that that is the contextual framework within which probably the comment was made, but Her Excellency the Governor probably would be in a better position to state further.
Well, since you are the one on the witness stand, maybe my final question, are there other competent bodies beside the Court of Law that have adjudicated this matter? Have these health matters come before the Senate, come before the County Assembly? And has there been any resolution in any of those bodies?
Only in terms of the court that it gave its final position.
The County Assembly? Has there been any inquiry into health issues in Kirinyaga?
Yes, I know, through Chair, they have written.
But not resolved?
Not resolved, through Chair.
The Senate?
I think, through Chair, this is the time that I'm seeing correspondence from Senate, to the best of my recollection, but I start guided.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, honorable members. Is there any other person that would, oh yeah, Senator Mbito, sorry about that.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Miruki, I think we met briefly when I visited you with the Senate Health Committee to Kirinyaga County.
Yes.
And we discussed most of these things there. But let me not go that direction today. I want to, there's this folio, this thing you said, you gave us, there's something inside the file that talks about Kirinyaga Investment Development Authority. Just very briefly, could you tell us what exactly this authority is? What is its legal status? Briefly, what does it do? Because I don't know why you put it here. I found it in this health file. And also, where is it domiciled? Does it have registered offices or what? It's in this same health file.
Yeah.
First document.
Yes, I have seen, through Chair about, and yes, for record purposes, yes, I'm sorry, and this is why I said I started corrected. Yes, I do recall you came to the county during that time, so correction. And on regard on this KIDA, you asked why it is domiciled. I know that
What is the legal status, first of all?
there is a KIDA Act.
Is it a task force in authority? Is it a parastatal?
It's an authority which was established through an act of the County Assembly of Kirinyaga.
So where is it based?
It is based in Kirinyaga.
But those are the registered offices for this? Because I'm seeing all its meetings seem to be held at, does the county have an office in Nairobi? I'm seeing all the meetings of this board are being held at Delta House. Is that legal even?
We used, through Chair, to have, the county used to have an office at Delta House, and probably that could explain the reason why some meetings were held there.
It does not have an office in Kirinyaga?
It also has.
Okay. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, let me just read it. Can I even see? Oh, sorry. Thank you very much. I think Senator Mugo has a question. Senator, can you hear us? Would you like to ask your question, or should we ask for you? Maybe you can give it to Chair to ask for her. One of the senators can. You're muted. You're muted. Senator Beth, you're muted. Okay. I think what we'll do, please give it to one of the. I think, Senator Mazaya, would you like to ask a different question, or you'd like to ask for Senator Beth? She's trying, but we cannot hear her. So what we're going to...
If I can read, I don't know if I can see. Is it okay? Yeah. Or we give her an opportunity?
You read on her behalf, Chair.
Just read on her behalf.
Okay, it reads, Senator would like to ask a question. One, there has been claims that the governor used intimidation and coercion to influence the hiring of staff in the county government, and that she should be held responsible for the firing of health workers around the time of the strike. Please clarify who in the county government is directly and ultimately responsible for appointments and dismissal of staff, and at what point, if at all, the governor becomes involved in this process.
Thank you, Chair. Witness, you may answer.
Through Chair, I'm not aware of the coercion that is mentioned thereof, and I have not seen any complaint from any officer in my position channeling such a complaint. I've also not been supplied with any document substantiating that. Therefore, I do not know, I'm not aware of that coercion, but that is not the character of Her Excellency the Governor, whom I know through interaction. In terms of the appointment and dismissals, through Chair once again, the County Government Act actually makes it very clear in terms of which officers can be fired by who. For example, the public officers, and especially as defined under Section 2 of the County Government Act, gives that mandate to the County Public Service Board through Section 59, and in fact, even to some extent from 63. In terms of the other officers like the CECs and the County Executive Committee members, those ones I know, and the governor has some power, and vis-a-vis also through the county the county assembly. So it depends on what specific position, but for the normal county public officers, that is the work of the County Public Service Board.
Thank you, witness. Senator Mazaya, did you want to say something? Or? Okay, please go for it.
Thank you. My question would be, not my question, my clarification I'm seeking from you would be based on the employees. To me, you have fired, not fired, but the medical staff have found themselves, their services being terminated, and then some being employed. There's a huge turnout of employment and then termination. From 500 to again, additional, from a staff of 1,260, then you fire 500, then I don't know, you employ again, and then there's reinstatement. So what I'm concerned about, I'm not concerned about the number of medical staff you employ, but I'm only concerned with this huge turnout of dismissal of health workers. Does it affect the performance of the medical staff or the morale, according to you as the CS? The second question would be, I'm also concerned about the payment of dues to those employees who did not go back to work. Have they been paid their dues? All of them. Because it looks like there's a bit of some challenges between how you sort out the people who have been employed and what happens to those ones who have not been reinstated and they're still out there, whether they have been paid. And finally, the medical situation or the health situation of facilities in Kirinyaga, the picture painted by the two eminent doctors from Kirinyaga and who are very senior and occupying very senior positions, clearly stated that the situation in Kirinyaga was deplorable. I don't know whether you are a doctor, and if you are not, whether you'd find yourself qualified to state that the state of affairs in Kirinyaga, particularly on health, is fair. I can see there is an encouragement from your statement that you're putting up quite a number of buildings like ICU, HDU, and so forth. You're doing a commendable job. But I'm saying currently, as it is before this takeoff, what is the current situation according to your own opinion? What is, not opinion, clarify. As you're not a doctor, whether the situation is as pathetic as the way it was stated by the doctors who said the state of health facility is deplorable. Thank you, Chair.
So you may respond.
Through Chair, thank you. There are three questions. One you mentioned in terms of the dynamics instead of the dismissal and the hiring of new staff, and I can understand basically what your concern could be. But through Chair, it is important to understand that the situation that the county government was faced in was left with no option. There were two possibilities. Either you give up and let the situation go out of control completely with the residents not getting healthy services, or the county government takes an action. As I did mention before, various efforts were made to try to get the healthy workers to understand the consequences of going on strike and even continuously refusing to abide by a competent court of law ruling. Notices were even issued. We went out of our way issuing notices to the employees, public announcements, and all those they actually ignored. So, Honorable Senator, by the time the decision was made, we did not have a situation at all because they had refused to resume office. The public needed services, so something had to be done. The court had already ruled. So it's not I could have wanted to go that route, but circumstances were such that a decision had to be made at one point or another. In terms of the morale, I must mention this. Since then, we have also tried to increase the level of engagement with the health workers. I actually forgot to mention, although it's there in my write-up, we have even employed health managers on full-time basis who are interacting with them. We are having regular meetings with them and even trying to address their concerns. So I think that in terms of the morale, I am actually confident that it is good. In terms of the dues for the employees who did not resume work, my recollection is that at the point where they decided to go on unprotected and illegal strike, they had already been paid up to that point. But after the termination, the way I understand law is this: they ceased, technically speaking, being employees of the county government. Now, the county executive is quite limited in terms of what it can do, especially when the workers have been dismissed, because that obligation and that mandate actually moves from the County Public Service Board, and per Section 77 of the County Government Act transfers it to another body, which is PSC. I'm aware through Chair that even the Public Service Commission wrote to the County Public Service Board asking them to make recommendations to the PSC and for the PSC to make determination. I'm not aware whether they complied or they didn't. So that one I'm not aware. In terms of the budget, there is a challenge that, as I did mention, workers have already been hired up to more or less the pre-strike staff complement. So consequently, any additional staff would pose budgetary challenges. So that is an issue that is beyond just saying let the people go back to the office, besides other maybe legal aspects. So it's not an issue. On the issue of the deplorable state, through Honorable Senator, the good thing is that I'm also, besides being an employee or somebody working in Kirinyaga County, I'm also a resident. I am interested in having a good work environment. Let me mention this. I know you mentioned I'm not a medical doctor, and true indeed, I'm not. But may I also want to mention this? I am one person who believes that there are universal skills of management. And in fact, basically, there are management experts who would define the technical, HR, and even conceptual skills. Those help any person to work in various settings. Before I came back to Kenya, I have held very senior positions out both locally and overseas with international and reputable companies. And at one time, I also worked in the health sector. So I'm aware about what a clean health environment is, because myself, I was a long-term healthcare nurse at one time or another. So I'm familiar with that one. So I can tell, and two, I can assure you, even if you came and visited the hospital, you understand that with the limited resources that we have, really there is a great improvement in the county.
I will come. Thank you. I thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much. Council for the Kirinyaga Assembly, you had your hand up. Getting my attention? Council, you had something
Chair,
before I overruled you.
I was seeking for your directions because I have an application to make that pursuant to the conclusion of the proceedings and noting the lengthy and the documents referred to, I know that I was supposed to make my closing statement immediately that we conclude these proceedings. I find it humanly impossible to collate the evidence as I sit here. And so I was seeking for a break of only 30 minutes to allow me sit and collate.
We already had made provisions for that.
Much obliged.
Of 20 minutes, but based then on your application, we may make it the 30 so that we give you the fair chance to collate your information as you requested. Honorable members, parties, thank you very much. I think, witness, thank you very much. You've done your civic duty. You've done whatever it is that you needed to do to aid this committee. So we thank you very much, and we will release you now. And what we'll do is we'll take half an hour's break for each of the parties to prepare their closing statements. So this committee will take leave or break for those 30 minutes, and we'll reconvene here exactly or promptly at 5:25. So let's be here at 5:25 to allow the two parties to prepare their statements, after which then we will continue with the proceedings. I thank you. Okay, committee, we will need to retire to the commission boardroom for one determination that is still before us.